Coming up on today's show, we have a presidential election update with Milad and Andrew, mental health with Julia, and a sports debate with Aiden and Andrew. And it all starts right now.
Good morning, Santa Margarita, and welcome to Eagle TV 2.0. I'm Matthew Pierce.
And I'm Katie Red. Happy Friday, Eagles. We have an exciting show for you today, so let's start with some announcements.
Attention students, don't forget to check the SM website for more information on purchasing Eagle Eats. There's so many amazing options being offered, and you definitely do not want to miss out.
Starting next Monday, November 9th, there's a Spirit Week going on. Monday is Comfy Cozy Day, so wear your favorite school-appropriate pajamas, sweatshirts, and comfy socks.
Tuesday is Decades Day, so wear any school-appropriate Decades apparel.
Thursday is Jersey Day, so don't forget to wear your jerseys or any athletic apparel.
And lastly, Friday is Class Color/T-shirt Day. Freshmen wear white, sophomores wear royal blue, juniors wear yellow, and seniors will wear light blue.
Finally, don't forget to wear pants or shorts with at least a 6-inch inseam throughout the week, and if you choose to not participate in Spirit Dress, you must wear your SM uniform.
We hope to see you all dressed up next week, SM.
Turning it over to news, let's check in with Milad and Andrew to hear more about the current status of the presidential election.
Welcome back to the weekly news on ETV. Today we're going to be talking about the presidential election and the chaos that surrounds it.
Donald Trump is literally suing everyone, and I'm pretty sure he's actually even suing me. The Trump campaign has filed a lawsuit on November 4th against 3 states demanding that Pennsylvania and Georgia temporarily stop counting ballots, saying that they have violated laws by not letting Republican poll watchers into ballot counting centers. The Trump campaign is asking the polling place to not continue until they are giving a meaningful access to voting locations and a chance to examine open ballots that have been processed while the poll watchers were not given access. This being said, these claims are only allegations, and there have been a lot from many heavily contested counties. The Trump campaign also looks to push their Pennsylvania case into the Supreme Court in order to decide whether ballots 3 days late and without postmarks can be counted. We will talk about Georgia and the 3rd state he filed against when it is more relevant later in the segment.
Now we're going to look at voter fraud. On social media, a lot of people have been talking about election fraud, like how 140,000 votes came in and magically every single one of them was for Joe Biden. However, before you panic and break down under your bed crying for the fall of democracy, just remember that this was later discovered to be a typo, and it's important to remember that everybody makes mistakes. The second allegation, dubbed the name Sharpiegate, alleging that poll workers were giving Trump voters Sharpies to vote with to make their ballots invalid. This was untrue, as the communications director of Maricopa County Elections Department, Megan Gilbertson, said in a statement, "Sharpies are just fine to use." Then she reassured the people even more by telling them, quote, "If you voted a regular person ballot, your ballot will be counted, no matter what kind of pen you used," unquote. This election will go to court, and it should be no surprise to anyone. We will have good reason to believe that whatever the court decides will be a good ruling, and this means that it will be full transparency to the American people, and rightfully so.
There has been a lot of skepticism around the heavily contested swing states, with questions arising about why they would just stop counting votes in Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Arizona, Nevada, Michigan, and Wisconsin. They just stopped counting on election night for seemingly no reason, but the numbers kept going up, like they had never stopped at all. With a lot of people questioning why they would just stop counting ballots in key states, peaceful protesters have shown up in heavily contested counties in Arizona and Michigan to pray and chant, quote unquote, "Fox News sucks." Another one of the main questions is why Fox News called Arizona for Joe Biden way early, with none of the stronghold counties' ballots being in, and while it is extremely likely that the state could flip towards President Trump and completely change the tide of the race. I'm honestly shocked that Alaska still is not done being counted, given that there's only 7 people that live there. It does call into question, yet again, why are certain states being called with barely any votes in, but the ones with upwards of 85% ballots are not called yet? A video has come out from an inside absentee ballot counting center in Detroit showing people blocking the view of the public eye, further drawing questions about the accuracy and legitimacy of the election.
Because of the crazy circumstances of this election, a runoff election in Georgia is very likely per the Georgia state election laws. A candidate must win by at least 50% of the vote in order to win the state. In the event that no candidate wins an outright majority, a runoff election is held between the top 2 vote getters. For this reason, majority systems are sometimes referred to as 2-round systems. In this case, both candidates are tied as of Thursday night. Biden has a slight edge, and it is very likely that it will be a long, hard-fought legal battle between both candidates. The margin of votes so tight, every vote will count, and it will leave even more doubt for the candidate declared the winner. Thank you. Now back to the hosts.
Thank you so much, Milan and Andrew, for that update. It has been great to hear a little update on what's going on in this crazy election in this crazy time.
We recognize that the election can bring about a lot of stress and anxiety for many Americans, so let's turn it over to Julia Swanson to see what advice she has during this time.
This has been a big week in the United States due to the 2020 election. Americans are already stressed in their day-to-day lives, especially with COVID-19. But this election has many people feeling extra anxious. These feelings are understandable and normal. With political unrest and opposing views, it's normal to feel uptight. But how can you get through this election with more ease? First of all, try not to get too worked up on things you can't control. It's great to be passionate about what you believe in, but it's going to feel like too much if you are trying to control what's going on in the world right now. Also, remember you are not alone. The American Psychological Association, or APA, says that 68% of adults feel a significant source of stress due to this election, not counting teens. The APA also strongly suggests taking a break from social media during this uncertain time. Avoid doom scrolling, a term used by the APA to characterize the behavior of many on social media. In addition, the APA says that no matter what happens during this election, one party will win and one will lose, so everyone needs to accept the defeat gracefully. Lastly, Dr. Lauren Cook, a therapist, author, and speaker, provided 5 tips for how to deal with the election. 1. Drink lots of water but avoid caffeine. 2. Have a game plan. Are you going to watch? 3. Have people you can openly talk to and process with. 4. Decide on an action plan. And 5. Give yourself compassion. Stay positive and take deep breaths, because this uncertainty will not last forever.
Thank you so much, Julia, for that great advice. I think a lot of students can benefit from using some of your tips.
I totally agree, Matthew. Now turning it over to sports, let's check in with Aiden and Andrew. Boys, take it away.
Hey, what's going on, SM? Welcome to the next episode of Aiden and Andrew talking about hot takes. So let's get right into it. So Aiden, what sport do you think is going to win CIF here at Santa Margarita?
Honestly, I think football is going to win CIF because I think they have a great depth, and I think they have a great team in general, and I think they can go all the way and win.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you on that. I think, like, out of all the sports, there are a lot of great sports here at SM, but I think football's got the most legitimate shot to win CIF because they have a lot of chemistry. Like, they've been grinding together all summer. Like, last year, the foundation's already laid. I think this is their year to reap the rewards, and they have a really good coaching staff.
Yeah.
And I think the Trinity League competition has dropped off significantly. Like, J. Sarah hasn't been as good. They've lost a lot of talent. Same with Orange Lutheran. So I think our main shot at winning CIF is going to go through either Bosco or Mater Dei, but it's looking good for SM. So stay tuned.
Yep. So, Andrew, who do you think is going to be the #1 pick in this NBA draft?
You know, I'm going to have to go with LaMelo Ball. I know, like, a lot of people don't really like the family all with LeVar and Lonzo, but, you know, I think LaMelo's going to be the best ball brother because he's been playing with grown men in Australia. And remember, he scored 100 in high school. 100 points in high school
You still
with
have
Chino Hill.
You saw the cherry picks, right?
I mean, yeah, but still, like, that 100 isn't nothing to sniff at. And he's been playing against grown men like Luka Doncic, and you've seen what Luka Doncic has done. And he's a great passing shooter. I think he can be the next Kyrie Irving or the next.
I think that Anthony Edwards will be the #1 pick.
Really?
Yeah, because I think you may think he's a one-dimensional player, but I think he has a lot of potential to be the next great.
I mean, the #1 pick is going to the Timberwolves, so they already have a shooter with D'Angelo Russell. So I don't know. I think their #1 need right now is point guard with LaMelo Ball, and I think he's going to go #1.
Okay.
So, Aiden, last topic. Do you think the Pats dynasty is dead?
No, I don't think it's dead, but I think it's heading in the wrong direction. Because what I'm thinking right now is that the Patriots' record right now is at an all-time low from previous seasons.
I mean, yeah, it is an all-time low, but still, like, they've been missing a lot of players, like opt-outs with Patrick Chung, a lot of their defensive players, and they have $80 million cap space next year, so they can get a marquee free agent among other players. Like, they'll probably draft a quarterback in this year's draft. It's really quarterback heavy with Trevor Lawrence, Trey Lance, and Justin Fields. So I think they're trending in the right direction despite the record. And in all of their games, like, it's been pretty competitive. Like, the last couple of games, it's come down to like the last plays, and they've just been really unlucky. So, and their schedule gets a lot easier. So I think they'll do a lot better in the coming weeks. So I don't know. It's looking bad right now, but I think they're in the right direction.
Was it wrong to say that Cam was the comeback player of the year?
I mean, I think he should. He was definitely in the running, but I mean, like, injuries have just hampered him. So best of luck to him, you know. So that about wraps it up, SM. Thanks for watching another episode of Hot Takes with Dana and Andrew. Let's send it back to the host in the studio.
Thank you, guys. I definitely think LaMelo Ball going first is a stretch, but it definitely could happen.
Yeah, I don't know much about basketball, but I agree. Now that wraps it up for our show today. This has been Eagle TV 2.0. I'm Katie Red.
And I'm Matthew Pierce. Have a great weekend, SM.